It does go, but we are into Champion Select, ladies and gentlemen. The picks coming through thick and fast. We'll go through the bands first before we head up to the top of the screen as LeBlanc, Shyvana, and Kalista taken away by Beşiktaş, and Lulu, Hecarim, Jana. So they forego the Morgana ban, and of course that means Thaldrin going to lock that one away first up.
Yeah, exactly right. That one is locked in. It looks like they're going back to the Silver. Revolta is hovering Lee Sin. Gragas is available once again. Would not be surprised to see that one picked up for Revolta in the jungle.
And why didn't they pick it for Theocles first up?
I have no idea. I would like to know the same answer. But it is Shyvana as well as Siva being locked in for the first two picks, so maybe that's why.
Because they knew that Revolta was also going to make the mistake of not picking Gragas?
The mind game.
I'm super confused, Spawn, but you seem to know more than me about this, so
I have no idea.
I'm going to leave it with... No, but you sounded so confident, man. Why did you... You could have just left it and just been, oh, yep,
I'm an honest fool, Atlas. I'm an honest fool.
Well, we have that in common, don't you worry. Mostly the fool part on my side, but at least you're honest. Nailed it. On the other side, though, Energy is going to lock away the Ahri from Tockers. So that is definitely a good pickup here. Doesn't have to go onto the Orianna, but is going to have now
Gragas
that power
has fallen through the champ select completely. Nunu is a pick here for Theocles.
Oh my goodness, Brazil. Please, my favorite champion. And if there's a region that is going to play Mordekaiser, it's Brazil, right?
I guarantee no region will play Mordekaiser.
What? EU played Mordekaiser?
Did they really?
Yeah, Overpower.
Did it win?
No. Wait, yes.
It did?
Yeah, Roccat. It was a long time ago. A long, long time ago, but Roccat played it, and he also built a Gunblade.
Was it after the changes?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. An incredibly long time
That means
ago.
before the changes.
Ah. Ah, no, it wasn't after the change.
Yep, okay. Yep. Active listening.
Yep, I apologize, my friend. Look, he's actually stronger now, though, after the changes. So, look, it's not going to get locked in, though, so we can stop talking about it. Tockers is going to be taking away the Nautilus here for Jockster, and it's going to be Yang on the Gnar in the top lane. So able to, again, be on a champion that's able to be a little bit frustrating on the Rift. Nardius does have the ability to pick up the Lucian if he wants to, and Thaldrin thinking about going for some massive early power. And if they were to go with these two picks, that is so much area zone control if they do manage to do it in a choke, but not a whole lot of tank.
Yeah, and I don't know how they start a fight.
Super Mega Death Rocket.
Without a pick or fantastic denial of vision, if this is the lineup that they go with, there is no way INTZ ever has to fight them. They can just lock in something for their mid laner that supports a fast push composition, and they can just rotate around the map and never actually be hard engaged on until they choose to be the team that starts the fight, because they've got the Shyvana, they've got the Gnar and the Nautilus. There's only soft CC coming through, unless Beşiktaş have the monopoly over vision control and are able to make sure that it's always INTZ walking into them. They never can start a fight on their terms.
Well, Tockers is looking to want to start fights on all sorts of terms as he hovers the Talon there, but not going to be the case, and I doubt Timo is going to be one either. Here's a serious hover as Mordekaiser comes through. We'll see whether Tockers does go with it, because of course they do have a lot of extra CC, so Mordekaiser does actually work in this comp. I tried to sound serious there. Did it work?
Yep, certainly did. Vladimir would be a better choice if you wanted to have some damage on top of very
little CC.
There's heaps of CC.
No. As far as an individual pick,
yeah,
he's got the pool.
So well, that's more than Mord has.
Mord's got a speed up now, dude.
That's not CC.
Yeah, but it sort of is. It's an you speeding up is kind of like them slowing down, relatively.
No, it's not at all.
Yes, it is. Of course it is. It's how it works. You are able to catch up to them. If they're slower or you're faster, it's the same thing.
I honestly cannot believe that that's what you think. If they are slower, your whole team can catch up. If you're quicker, you just run to your death.
If you're Mordekaiser, you don't need a team. You're already the best champion. It's fine.
Let's leave
I
this
just
conversation
can't get
right where it is. Tockers has locked in Vladimir.
Oh, dear. But, of course, it's going to work fantastically in this comp. Vladimir more than able to sit in that lane, just farm it out as quickly as possible. Tides of Blood, a brilliant pushing tool. So he can just push out the wave whenever he needs to. Everyone can rotate around and you can get micaO in that lane. And, of course, Vladimir suffers from the issue of not being able to sort of close in on the opposition. With On the Hunt, it is going to be great. And stop looking at me like that. I want to go back to my Mordekaiser point.
No, so, yeah, I definitely agree with you. He's got the double offensive or defensive summoner spells as well. Got Ghost, got Flash, so a little bit easier job to get in there. He'll pick up Distortion fairly early in the game if it is anything like the Vladimirs we've seen. Not to mention the fact that there's just a Sejuani, a Gnar, and Nautilus, so lots of tools to slow the opposition team down. So he doesn't necessarily have to move any faster, can probably just meander his way into the team fight and get some work done.
Let's have more conversations about relative speed. I think that's a really good idea.
I don't think it is. On the other side of the rift, Beşiktaş has gone with the Rumble, has gone with the Nunu. So they have lots of zone control. You are correct. If at any point Ints are walking into them, it is going to be a very bad time. However, INTZ don't have to do that.
Yeah, and they're probably not going to as well. And they've got a fair bit of the ability to get out of there as well. I mean, Tockers is going to be relatively safe. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are onto the rift. Beşiktaş taking on INTZ for game number 2. And the Brazilians already up 1 game with a fantastic first series. And we'll see how this one goes. And you mentioned Spawn. Beşiktaş not with too many engage options. And we saw this work horribly yesterday.
Yeah, it certainly did. So we'll see how it exactly works out here. Looks like we'll have standard lanes, Dumbledore and Nadius down the bottom. A little bit weaker this time round on Jinx Morgana. He's just hanging out in the top lane.
Yep. 30 seconds until minions. Fair enough too. Vladimir just chilling out up there. Gnar is around the area, but he's just looking to get vision down.
So this time round, Theocles should have a much better time taking the jungle aggression to Revolta. Nunu, one of the quickest junglers in the game. As you see him doing a little bit of a boogie.
Oh, he can walk on water. He can moonwalk on water.
Is that a moonwalk?
I don't know. No, it's not. It's most definitely not a moonwalk. He'd have to be going backwards for one. But he's also a Yeti. I just don't know how that translates. Michael Jackson to Yeti.
I'm no help in this conversation. Yeah. Don't look at me.
I was trying to get some sort of opinion from you there, Spawn. Normally that's quite easy.
Yeah. Not about music, it's not.
Well, we are going to have INTZ starting here on this Gromp. Revolta is going to smite it and leave the experience over to INTZ.
So you get the buff, you don't get the level, but of course with the W, Revolta going to be relatively safe jungling anyway. So that's a very nice gesture coming across from the jungler as he pulls it out to max range. There's a danger in doing this. So what Revolta did is, between his auto attacks, because Sejuani has such a low base auto attack speed, he's able to avoid one auto attack every single time he stutter steps back. However, because of how blue buff currently works, in the bottom lane already, Nadius forced out. They went so aggressive at level 2, and Tockers and micaO able to pick up the early victory. He's going to have to go back to base. He did.
He did. He's already walking back up here. May have one more potion, potentially. Yeah, there's a mana pot there, but it's not going to help him out with any sort of aggressive move that micaO is going to make, and they shove out that full wave. 2 CS to 8 now, and Nadius, we mentioned the fact that, you know, this is the star lane.
Not even about the CS. It's about the early levels. All of a sudden, Sivir in what should be an losing lane is going to be 2 levels ahead of the Jinx and not going to be able to do anything now is Nadius as she just repetitively shoves in the lane. You cannot push it back out.
Well, Nadius still level 1, looking for that next level as minions are falling. But when you go back to base that early on, still going to be sticking around on level 1 for quite some time. Hits 2 as the enemy is going to hit level 3. And there's another dredge line to come through from Jockster. Dark Binding doesn't find the mark as Dumbledore is going to shield himself up. Maybe a little bit late there.
So they've able to get the reverse push in here, and they've also sent Nunu down bottom very early as he's done a full clear. Nunu just flies through the jungle. You can see he is full health with his potion still versus Revolta, who hasn't taken his red buff. Nunu is just freakishly good at jungling, and that's why you normally see him invade, and especially against Revolta.
Yeah, well, I would have thought if there's any time for Theocles to be on the other side of the map, it's now when he's against a Sejuani and he's Nunu.
Yeah, exactly right. So maybe just the early loss coming through from Nadius meant that he had to go down there and at least put some, I guess, presence into Nadius's lane, although he's not playing Maokai. who of course is the only person that can literally put presents in lane.
Oh, well, theoretically a Mumu is a present in a lane.
Yeah, that's a bad Mumu skin though, so no one uses it.
Oh, that is not true. That is not true. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are on Twitter, use that hashtag IWCI and at SpawnLol and let him know that he's an absolute moron for thinking that, because that skin is adorable. Flat out adorable.
Re-gifted a Mumu.
Re-gifted a Mumu. So good. Anyway, back to the game here. I'm appalled. Boomerang not going to find Nadius or Dumbledore there as Siva looking to try and get this push back out. They've got a big minion stack as Jockster finds the wall there with the
So that exactly there is why Jinx actually should win this lane. I was waiting for it to happen. So Siva's auto attack range is that small that when you have to last hit the range CS there, the caster creep, you generally take... Wow.
Whoa, there's the flash dredge line though as the stun comes through as well. Oh, those chompers did not do anything, and micaO picks up first blood. Not going to stop there as the boomerang comes across. We'll have a look at the mid lane as Dumbledore is going to survive. And there was another gank to come through. Theocles was unable to find Tockers there, and he didn't even blow summon him.
Yeah, so he just had to pull out, but micaO, he's been able to reverse the minion wave, crush it in there, as now Tholdren in a huge trouble.
Yeah, Revolta looking for the Arctic Assault. Will have to... No! Doesn't have to blow the flashes. He's not in range. Revolta not quite able to get the CC.
Revolta actually saving his summoner spell for a rainy day there. Could have got in there with an Arctic Assault flash combo. Instead decides to not use it and just walks away there to Tholdren.
Yeah, and he was maybe thinking that he'd be able to get the flash by just using the Arctic Assault, but Tholdren, steady hand. Of course, the shot caller and captain of the team, star player here for Beşiktaş, easily just chills out and leaves the lane.
Yeah, so not getting anything across there. Have to see exactly how this bottom lane works out now. 15 CS, it is a BF sword to a pickaxe. micaO once again, this time without a triple kill, has got an absolute mammoth advantage in his lane. And you can see already just walks straight up to the creep and zones Nadius away.
Nice spell shield as well under that zap. Wallop going to find Tholdren here as the creeps do the rest of the work for Yang. Yang is ahead by about 8 CS, but a little bit more attention from Revolta sort of makes that one make sense. And this is always terrifying. When you see it, oh my goodness, Tholdren actually taking a lot of damage, but able to offer it back here as the equalizer comes down. Yang gets out of the Mega Gnar form and doesn't have quite the CC to deal with the Rumble. And I thought that Tholdren might have fallen down there, but massive knowledge of how to really calculate the damage coming through from this Rumble.
Yeah, so able to just return it through there in the back end. And that was a very good exchange coming through from Gnar because he now has teleport up, can just go back to base, get his purchase through. You would think with a Hex Drinker, this lane will reverse completely in his favor. And Yang, he's still up a little bit in CS as both top laners have to go back.
Yeah, well, he'll teleport back into the lane as well. It has equalized somewhat.
Theocles has been maybe... He's having a look in the river for something.
He's found a ward. He's unaware of the fact that he's found a ward.
Teleport coming through. Wow, he's in trouble now.
Yeah, Yang looking to try and get something happening. It lands the boomerang as Theocles is going to get hyped here as well. Revolta looking for something as the dragon's been started. Theocles, of course, does have the flash. He's going to use that one to get out to safety as Yang just continues to attack this dragon.
But this will be the first dragon pickup, and when you have a Rumble on your team, one of the few champions that can secure early dragons, not to mention a Nunu.
Yeah.
If the other team is able to pick it up with a better late scaling composition, that is an absolute nightmare, and that's exactly what has happened to INTZ right now. Able to secure first dragon against the Nunu, against the Rumble, and things for Beşiktaş looking even more precarious.
Precarious once more.
Oh no, I did it again.
Yeah. But at least you can say
precarious.
Analyst. You can say analyst. Precarious?
Precarious.
Or curious. Curious is...
Curious is a wrong word.
Yeah, it's sort of completely out of context. It was cute, though. If you had said it with enough commitment, then I would have still taken it. All right. Not happening there, but Energy's going to be able to take down a blue buff. And that isn't Precarious Spawn. I don't know what Precarious is trying to mean. I just don't... I'm not quite with you. The pull going to come through, though, as there's still a spinning blade hanging out in the middle of this lane, which is kind of a... Yep, there it is. There we are. micaO able to play some Beyblades while he's chilling out, last hitting under this turret. I mean, in the middle of the lane. And they're continuing to shove this one out. And Spawn, we've got to segue out of this horrendous bit of banter because Revolta's going back. He's very, very low. Yang is putting the pressure on Thaldron here. He's building up a decent rage bar. But is probably going to be scared because he knows now that Thaldron more than happy to turn these exchanges.
Yeah, he certainly is able to get in there as we see another misbind coming out of Dumbledore. And relegated to farming with Zap currently as Nadius. micaO complete control of that lane. 20 CS advantage going over to INTZ.
Thaldron last hitting under this turret, absolutely fine. Yang gonna lose the Mega Gnar form as he picked up not the Hex Drinker, which I was also expecting to be the pickup.
Yeah, generally you go one aggressive item if you are in the 1v1 lane as Gnar. Hex Drinker is a very good aggressive item because it gives you that shield, the MR and the AD. Very good for early trades coming through, but just going all defensive. When you look at the lineup, it does make a little bit of a sense because you are against, oh wow, Nadius.
That's a whole lot of damage. Down to about 400 health is this Jinx. Still behind by a whole lot. Has managed to pick up 63 CS, which is important. Whoa! Revolta nails the ultimate after the Spirit Rush. Hemoplague not going to find the kill, but damn, that was flashy as Nadius. Nice black shield. Theocles coming through here into the bottom side as Jockster gets locked down. There's the absolute zero. So much damage. He burns to death as Dumbledore picks up the kill, and micaO now forced to run away. Spell shield is activated, but not going to find it. And Beşiktaş, they'll be happy with the kill in the bottom lane.
Yeah, able to pick up a kill, so it's 1-1 now. 400 gold, still the advantage. Bottom lane is getting convincingly beaten still, even with that kill coming through. Unfortunately, it was onto the support player, but top lane, this one right here.
Yeah, Thaldron in a bit of trouble here as Yang once again into the Mega Gnar form. Just nars Thaldron into the wall. Will he have the wallop available? Can't really slow down this Rumble quite enough, and man, that was so close. There he is, back into the mini Gnar form and just wanders through the equalizer because he can.
Yeah, exactly. Gets back to lane. In the end, the flash burn as well coming through from Thaldron. A little bit of a fat finger there, so not able to get over the wall. We've all done it, so won't hold that against him too much. Baron wall, incredibly thick.
Yep, that one is a thick wall. I wasn't actually aware that you could even flash through it. I failed it that many times. But Nadius able to clear out this bottom wave. He's going to try and catch up just a little bit here in the farm. Still behind more than 20 CS there in that lane.
Behind a crit cloak.
My goodness. But still, it's just a crit cloak. You know, that's just RNG. If he gets the right RNG in a trade,
doesn't even matter. Yep.
No worries at all. Energy clearing out this wave, continuing. As Dumbledore doesn't land the Dark Binding and Jockster is going to ignore him. Dumbledore shielding himself up there. Just the tip of the boomerang for so much damage out of micaO. And now Revolta heading into this lane does have the Glacial Prison available.
Has the ult available as well, meaning he can animation cancel the travel time and just nail Nadius if he wants to.
Oh, there it is. The flash. Such incredible reaction time. But you're exactly right. Probably could have Arctic Assaulted first.
Arctic assaulted, flashed forward and just did it. There are so many things that right now Revolta could do. That is a lazy gank. Just, I hope I hit him. Of course, burning flash is really important. AD carries rely on it extensively to reposition around fights, but Nadius should be dead. This should be an even bigger hole that he is currently trying to crawl out of. Instead, Theocles is in here. They might be even able to turn this.
Yeah, they're looking for something. Theocles and Revolta trading some damage as the chompers come through as well, just to hold this one.
Again.
Yeah, Thaldron's in trouble, but energy's coming down to this bottom side. Yang's actually teleporting to answer Thaldron's as well. Of course, knew that he wasn't going to be able to stop that one coming through as...
That was a very strange pair of teleports coming through.
Yeah, Tockers is very confused as well. He's like, okay, well, I'm just staying in the mid lane. You guys can do all of this weird stuff around the Dragon Pit if you want.
It's not even up for another minute, so both top laners have to take a vacation from farm.
Yeah.
Probably in Thaldron's favor because his wave will push back eventually. Although now, nah, he's pinging it out. Yang's like, I'm going back top. Apologies for the visit. It was a little bit too early.
Yeah, got a little bit excited about that one. Spell Shield going to come through from micaO just to stop the damage from that zap to come through again. And they're going to take down these minions. And Tockers taking a bit of damage, just ignoring it. Transfusion going to help him get back up to health as he's got the Will of the Ancients and a Null Magic Mantle going towards that Abyssal Scepter, you have to think.
Yeah, and there is no way he can be shoved out of this lane by energy. Unless he dies 100-0 in a gank, he's just going to be able to sustain through all the damage that can come through. And even though there is a 20 CS advantage and a completed IE coming through for the bottom lane, micaO doing a fantastic job, the exact same has been replicated in the top lane. It
Yeah.
really is Tockers in the mid lane. 30 CS up, has just been farming up an absolute storm on Vladimir, and Energy not able to go with him.
Yeah, and Tockers has just been ignored throughout this whole game. And we mentioned this earlier on, the fact that our experiences with a lot of these teams involves these mid laners quite extensively, and a lot of jungle pressure being put in the mid lane. The other lanes generally getting a little bit ignored, but this time, it was just an island.
Yeah, it certainly has been, apart from that one Shyvana gank that did burn the Ahri flash and force her out of lane.
Yeah.
No one else has really come close, as Theocles and Revolta going to slap each other a little bit.
Yeah, nice black shield is going to stop the stun from coming through onto Theocles, but does take a little bit of damage in response. Energy makes his way around. Tocker's more than happy to concentrate on the minion wave and not care about his team whatsoever.
Yeah, now clear 30 CS exactly. So having an absolute farm fest in the middle lane is Vlad. And this is a great feeling with Vlad, where you can just crush through minion waves. Make sure that you're always up in CS. You know that you're just going to scale exponentially better than everyone. So you're going to do a good job regardless.
Yeah, and you're actually doing your job by sitting in lane and farming.
Yeah, exactly right. And we see they want to get aggressive again.
Whoa, Nadius taking some damage from one pass of the boomerang. micaO continuing to dominate this lane. He's got so much control down here, and as a Sivir into Jinx, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we've seen this with Sivers if they are able to get early advantages. Yang, once again, oh, he misses the ult.
Yeah, doesn't get the nah. In the end, just looks a bit amusing. The boomerang comes across again in this bottom side, and Theocles, sorry, is able to clear out this pink ward as Energy gets a ball over the top, but Tockers just doesn't care.
Yeah, exactly right. Just able to sustain throughout the entirety of the lane, and Theocles really has to concentrate bottom lane, as we actually have in the middle lane. Ultimate burn.
Yeah, Tockers is burning down here as well. Revolta catches him afterwards as there's the flash forward, but Energy doesn't find the kill. Hemoplague does go off, takes him down for the kill as Jockster looks for it. Oh, super mega death rocket just to the left. And Nadius almost got himself back into the game with one ability.
And overcommitment once again coming through from Energy. He didn't have to go that deep. The gank came through. He was successful already in forcing Vlad out of the lane. Could have probably transitioned it towards a dragon. Instead went incredibly deep. Burnt the flash trying to get off some more damage. Fell down, and now a second dragon will go over to INTZ.
Yeah, and Spawn, we've had a conversation about this item on Vlad as well. Spirit Visage to be completed by Tockers. You can see where all of the synergy's coming through, but is that going to leave him behind on the damage front?
Yeah, it was you and Papa Smithy that had that conversation. So thank you for including me, but I was not there. But I actually am of the adverse opinion as yourself and Papa Smithy. Gives him the cooldown reduction he needs at this part of the game.
I loved it. Papa Smithy was not about it at all.
Yeah, also means that against a Rumble, a Nunu, an Ahri, and a Morgana, completely unkillable right now.
Yeah.
Gets so much health back, can pick up Merc Treads, and is legitimately a tank as well as an AP carry in the mid lane. Vlad's always been about the sustained trades, never about the burst damage. And realistically, with Nah, Shyvana, and Sivir, the ultimate alone would be enough damage coming out of this team comp.
Yeah, because you're going to turn everyone into a damage threat just by getting the Hemoplague down. The damage amplification going to make everyone massive.
Exactly right, as we have both junglers in this top lane now.
Yeah, Revolta does have the ultimate back up here. Whiffs it right through the middle somehow, but still picks up the kill onto Thaldron. Theocles not going to get slowed down, but there's the boulder as Yang doesn't follow through. They know that Energy was coming up, and that is some heads-up play from INTZ, not going too deep.
And complete dominance once again coming through here as Dumbledore's looking to get aggressive onto Jockster.
Yeah, Jockster getting caught up there. There's the ultimate to come through. Beautiful Black Shield, going to stop anything from happening. Stays there as well as Jockster's burning down. Forced to flash out. Super Mega Death Rocket. The Beşiktaş lineup pulling this one out somehow. The double kill for the bottom lane as Yang tries to get through there, but Energy's in amongst everything. Tockers comes down around the outside. The Hemoplague's there. Dumbledore, you are most definitely dead. But the only casualty for INTZ, and that went horribly wrong for the Brazilians.
Yeah, they get the 3-for-1 trade, and more importantly, they get a kill onto Jinx and get her a creep wave in the bottom lane. Will close that gap back down to about 10. And that is just awesome news coming through. As you see, exactly what we were talking about. Tockers now does not care about Energy's damage. He can just pretty much tank the wave.
Yeah, he's more than happy to get charmed by Ahri.
So now all the pressure on Nardius. Nardius needs to be the huge carry in this team comp because honestly, magic damage not going to get it done against this Vladimir, who is 213 CS, 50 CS up on anyone on the map, and going to be an absolute monster.
Yeah, he's above the clock at this stage as well. I mean, we talk about 20 minutes, 200 CS. That is almost perfect, but he's at 216 at 19. Now 20 minutes into the game. So really looking fantastic. Is going to get to that.
And look at this. Just doesn't take damage.
Yeah. And he's able to clear out the creep wave just by pressing E all the time. And he's 2-0-0 at the same time. This Vlad is all kinds of disgustingly strong. And micaO going to be able to take down the outer turret in the bottom lane, extending this gold lead. Yang continues to put pressure on the top side of the map, and we saw how impactful he was on the Shyvana. Now, with an even more devastating teamfight potential on this Gnar. Tockers, yeah, it's like he doesn't even see energy in this lane. His Yang has a Randuin's Omen as well, almost towards that Banshee's Veil by the looks of things. Theocles heading through to this mid lane. Just gets transfused, but
he also doesn't take much damage.
Nah, he's not too worried about much at all. He's got a rejuve bead.
Theocles, however, moving in on this top side of the map. Thaldrum once again in a lot of trouble. Yang probably going to look for a bounce over the wall. Gank doesn't come through, in fact, so they're just willing to chill out there. Are they stealing away a blue buff? Maybe they had the timer on that one. No, Revolta, he's just very patient.
Yep, sitting in the brush. Aegis of the Legion is completed here for Sejuani. Theocles going to find him, though. Energy coming around as well, as there's a Mega Gnar in the top side, but he's getting burnt down by Thaldrum. Theocles closes the distance. Energy's there. With Gnar back into the wall, but a beautiful charm. The wallop comes down, but it's not enough, and not even a Glacial Prison going to hold Theocles down.
But they also lose out on the mid lane turret, and almost clinically, Int just realize that, yep, he's definitely going to go down, use as minimal as possible, although Revolta's ultimate probably unnecessary there, especially with only a minute left on Dragon, but they move into the mid lane, crush down that structure. So all of a sudden now, all three outers fallen, and there's a 3,000 gold gap in favor of the Brazilian lineup.
Yeah, despite the Turkish team managing to equalize the kills, the objective still going in favor of Brazil, and 2-0 in the Dragons. And the Beşiktaş lineup have a fantastic area damage comp.
Yeah, exactly right. The only thing Beşiktaş can really force fight over is neutral objectives. So the fact that they've fallen behind in Dragons, haven't even been able to pick up their first by the 23-minute mark, just means that that fifth Dragon never realistically going to be an issue for INTZ, because they think with the Vladimir, 255 CS right now, 260 at 23 minutes
goodness.
in. It's just going to outscale the fifth Dragon buff, if we're going to be honest. Really nothing they can do to slow this guy down right now.
He just built an outright death cap.
Yeah, no position to be able to fight him.
No. Ain't no one fighting that guy.
2,300 gold ahead. He is the gold lead right now.
He is. This Vladimir is an absolute monster. And if they get Tockers into a position where he can fight this one, get into a spot where he can actually rotate down in time, because you have to say a lot of the times that the Turkish team have managed to get an advantage, it's because Ahri's moved there before Vladimir. Tockers hasn't made it to the fights in time, and Energy is able to get down there faster.
Yeah, so we see micaO, he's being collapsed on a little bit. Theocles forcing him away. Dragon is live. You have to think Beşiktaş have to fight this one. With the Rumble, he's picked up a needlessly large rod. He's in a position to be able to do some work this team fight. Jinx has finally nearly equaled out items, although Siva's still much stronger, and they look like they're just going to give it up.
Yeah, the teleport's coming through, though. Thaldrum looking for something. Dark Binding not going to find it, as there's the ultimate. The ult comes through into the backline. Nardius gets stunned up, forced to use the flash to get out. Theocles, the full channeled ultimate as Jockster. He's going to go down first. Yang now gets exploded as Theocles. He's been the most massive tank in this fight, as Tockers now gets the focus of Nardius. Super Death Rocket flashed out of the way of as Tockers might be able to turn something. The pool does manage to get Dumbledore. But Beşiktaş, they managed to pick up the team fight. 3 alive to 2. as micaO wants to get a boomerang across, but Beşiktaş were all over that one. And Theocles' ult, how did he get that full channel?
Yeah, able to get it through there. They just ignored him, and now they're going to be able to pick up a dragon, you would feel, with the Nunu coming through. They grab it. First meaningful objective in the game, and they win the team fight.
Yeah, beautifully played by Beşiktaş. And that was all about Nadius. He got caught by the Glacial Prison, but then immediately flashed out and got consistent damage from that point until the end of the fight.
Yeah, exactly right. Was just able to free hit because it is so hard to run through all of the straight line damage that comes through. Theocles, he's got the absolute zero, but then you have things like the Morgana buy and the charm, not to mention the fact that you've got like harpoons and the equalizer there as well. Nunu's already a nightmare to run through. When there is straight line CC coming at you whilst you're trying to do it, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Now Tholdren, he also has the Zhonya's Hourglass, so capable of multiple spell rotations and can be actually more of a frontline Nunu? Rumble in this fight. So that's going to be really frightening because that gives them more of an option to really take it to INTZ, try and get in amongst it.
Yeah, it certainly does, as Dumbledore might have been caught out here, though. Good binding gets him to safety, and now the Jinx picked up the Static Shiv. Static Shiv versus Phantom Dancer. Late game is going to be a meaningful difference for micaO. Right now, really isn't that much because the first crit that will come through will set up a lot of the damage you feel for the Jinx.
Yeah, this is the thing. And the fact that that's a crit rocket as well. So that's a doubly AoE crit to come down from that Static Shiv.
Yeah, so we'll be able to do a lot of damage in team fights. And as I said, late game, definitely favor the Phantom Dancer, but right now helping wave clear, getting a lot of work done, has a very good gold efficient build to go into, of course, because all you have to get is... Ooh, is he getting caught out? No? No.
They're looking for something. Revolta does have the ult.
Yeah, so you get some gold regeneration as you build it up through there, as they're trying to siege down this turret now. So Nadius, he's caught back up. Very well done after being so far behind. Remember, he was forced out of lane, level 1.
And he's now only 20 CS behind, a little bit less than that actually. As now, Jinx is going to be able to head around the map, pick up as many things as he can. But the main thing is those extra 3 assists. Just going to mean that they're basically exactly the same on gold. And we've already mentioned, Siva loses out that match.
Yeah, exactly right. So really now all of it is up to Vlad. Tockers is the huge member on his team. Has gone for some spell pen boots, which I really don't like on Vladimir. He's like Ryze in the fact that all he needs is consistent damage. You don't need the burst rotation to come through. You can just go Merc Treads, Void Staff, and all of a sudden your build is ridiculously huge because you're an AP tank against 4 AP people. You can finish off with the Zhonya's Hourglass to ensure another rotation comes through. As Dumbledore, very cheeky.
Yeah, Tocker is going to ignore it entirely and keep clearing out this minion wave as INTZ, they've got a lot of wave clear. The charm lands onto Tockers. He gets bound as well, forced to use the pull, but comes out of it immediately into the chompers, and Nadius picks it up with a beautiful crit. The Hemo plate comes down. No damage to be taken from it.
Top lane a fight.
Yeah, they're going for something here as Yang in mini now are able to chase down Tholdren. The boomerang doesn't find him, but that's a flash traded. Would have definitely died after that one, but Beşiktaş winning the fight in the bottom lane, and Tockers just a little bit overzealous.
But that was just perfectly changed CC coming through. Energy able to nail it. And then the chompers came down. There was a dark binding. There's also the ultimate to be followed up by Morgana. In the end, they were just able to layer everything perfectly, and he had no chance to get away. It's also going to pick Beşiktaş up a tower in the bottom lane. Nadius being able to deal with that one, and all of a sudden, gold's nearly back to equal.
Yeah, Ints have really sort of let this one go, but see whether they can come back through. I mean, you've mentioned the fact that Beşiktaş not with a whole lot of engage tools, and Ints with about 5.
Yeah, they certainly have a lot. So they're able to get in there. So definitely agree with you. Still an uphill battle here for Beşiktaş, but at least they've got their Jinx in the position to start scaling. Actually ahead in items now, as maybe Siva's been caught out again.
Yeah, Theocles trying to get... Was that the ultimate?
That was the ultimate.
Interesting.
They could have just kept diving. Theocles actually doesn't take damage.
No, Dumbledore doesn't quite find the Dark Binding. The minion wave was coming through there as well, but micaO, of course, making it under the turret is going to deter the members of Beşiktaş.
Now, actually an arm guard being built up here by Vladimir. Very worried about the AD damage that can come through, so going for the armor item. As your Beyblade's still in lane there.
Yep, just chilling out. It's fine. waiting for a challenge. Yang doesn't have it. Of course, both Boomerang champions on one team means that they don't want to battle each other, because that's a bit crazy.
That's crazy talk.
Yeah, no Boomerangs to be had. As Equalizer comes through, nice depth charge from Jockster. Jockster going to lock down this. Oh my goodness, turns it around. micaO just getting burnt to shreds as Revolta, he's coming through as well. He wants to try his hand at taking down the Rumble, and Scrap Shield's going to keep him alive for another few seconds.
Give it to Tockers.
Yeah, Tockers just says, step aside, friends, I will pick up this kill, and he does nail it in the end.
But able to push up mid lane, so they trade 1-for-1 and really a lot more used on the side of INTZ.
Super Mega Death Rocket sails
into yonder.
Yeah, that was a beautiful view. If we're being honest. But
if we're being honest, what, you would be lying for the rest of the cast?
I was just, yeah, okay, that was probably the wrong statement, but it was a little bit off topic is more what I meant there, Spawn. Thank you very much. But in the end, gold lead still at about 1.5 thousand for INTZ. But things looking a whole lot better. Jinx is going to scale beautifully in the late stage of this game. Tockers only 70 CS ahead. And they've been dealing with the Vladimir.
Yeah, so Vlad really hasn't been able to get into the team fights yet to really have a huge impact. Was on the back end of last one, but next Dragon picked up, so 2-all. Now Beşiktaş actually looking like they might have some of the objective control advantage, and Baron really is the huge one because currently, I just saw something I want to talk about in a second, but currently Baron really does become the next objective because once again we talked about how to Beşiktaş make INTZ come towards them. Nunu getting strong enough right now where he can start taking that up without taking meaningful damage.
Yep.
And they have to come in the end. Very, very dangerous to fight a Vladimir around Baron just because the pit really is a good place for him to get all of his AoE off. But if they peel upwards, allow the equalizer to go across, you feel that might be a winning team fight. What I want to touch on quickly is Energy's build.
Okay.
It's a really cost-efficient build in a lane that he fell significantly behind. And with all of the MR being picked up right now, you might look at it and think that is a very, very strange build. There's no Death Cap in there, no Luden's Echo, but there's 2 Spirit Visages, a Locket of the Iron Solari coming across here, meaning that everyone has ridiculous MR. So he doesn't need the AP. Remember, he does true damage on the return. He's looking to get it across the whole team and augment everyone else's damage. Doesn't need to be the solo carry. I like the fact that he's recognized that they've committed to the MR, so he wants to do relevant damage now.
Yeah, commits to the early build. Jockster's going to get caught out, and he is most definitely dead. The pick potential of this team, if not engage, is most definitely great. Beşiktaş using it to beautiful effect.
And this is what we said. If they ever get vision control, and INTZ have to walk into them, it's always going to be in their advantage. The problem is, with the lead in tab, they shouldn't be in that position. They should never have to face check, but they do. Now they're pinging out Baron. Once again, Nadius has just started it up. Yeah. They think without the Nunu there, they want to be crazy enough to start Baron. Who would? That's your jungler, but here we have a Jinx completely tearing through it. It's at half health. They'll get this without it even being contested.
Yeah, and Nadius has got a Bloodthirster as well. Actually tanked that one up. Tholdren just throws in a couple of harpoons as well, and Nadius locks down the Baron for Beşiktaş. Not even using it as a baiting tool. They just want to kill it.
Yeah, exactly right. They're able to take it out. Now their siege comp is set up. They've got the Jinx long range, the super creep. She's blood boiled as well. All of a sudden, Nadius has turned into a massive problem. After being crushed in lane, is up in CS. They're looking to collapse on the lineup, but he's going to get 2 turrets for it.
Yeah, Revolta actually taking a bit of damage there from Energy as they come in to try and protect this one, but that was so much damage onto that inner turret, and they're just waiting for the next creep wave.
Yeah, exactly right. That one will fall out, so in the end, not even much going to be done. They're looking to catch the Vladimir, actually.
Yeah, he does still have the pull. He's going to use that to get away from the charm. Energy gets black shielded. Depth charge not going to find anything here. Dumbledore's really fantastic on these shields as Dark Binding lands onto Revolta. It's a nice ultimate. Dumbledore's getting caught up there, but flashes in. There's the Zhonyas as the Morgana keeping control of this area. Tockers takes down Dumbledore. The Ockley's now being a huge problem in this backline. Revolta trying to do some work, but Nadius, he's still alive. Minigun tearing through the members of INTZ, and Nadius is mammoth. Oh, Jockster manages to land the dredge line, but Nadius doesn't care. He's just going to continue the onslaught. These rockets really ripping apart INTZ, but
they win another team fight. Both members have to go back. They'll go into the top lane. Minion wave already there. Pick up another objective. And you saw in these fights where they have to engage onto Beşiktaş, INTZ have to walk through all of the CC. You thought that they could just maybe walk away from the fight. Fighting Rumble, Nunu, Morgana in a forest. There's just no way you're going to get through anyone. On the back end, Nadius was completely safe. The one time he got caught out, over-committed, he got dredge line, still wasn't in overly too much danger.
Well, he still had flash.
Yeah, exactly right. Flash heal, saved him.
No worries there at all. And Dumbledoge, that was a brilliant Soul Shackles into the Zhonya's Hourglass as well. Really made sure that INTZ, they had to focus out the Morgana before anything else. And it meant that there was so much consistent damage to be had from Thaldron, Energy, and Nadius. These are like massive consistent damage dealers.
Yeah, exactly right. And all of a sudden, Nadius, he's finished up a QSS. He's a complete item and a half over his counterpoint.
That's insane.
Pretty much end build. From here, it's the luxury items you pick up, the enchantments on your boots, not to mention the fact that you'll finish up the Mercurial Scimitar. But right now, he's ready to brawl. And there's not enough armor. Everyone committed so heavily to AP.
Yeah, well, that's because Nadius was put so far behind, and now it's completely irrelevant. No one would understand us talking about Nadius being behind. He's ahead by 45 CS. He's got massive kill counts as well. Where was the Jinx from before? Because she's gone.
Yeah, exactly right. He's turned into a huge problem. All of a sudden, they've got the split push potential in the top lane. We've seen that Thaldron being able to deal well with the Energy might have been a little bit caught, but no, maybe it's Tockers.
Yeah, it does use the pull, but they are just going to Spirit Rush after him. There's the Hemoplague. Theocles takes a lot of damage, but Yang gets caught by the Dark Binding. Theocles gets nut into the wall. Dredgeline is going to find something there as Energy's getting taken down low. micaO makes his way into the fight. Nadius, though, through the backline, picks up a kill onto the Nautilus. The flash over the wall from Thaldron, who's looking for something. Revolta gets around the back of this fight. Nadius was very, very low.
So in the end, it was a 1-for-1, but they engaged without their top laner there. So INTZ, they'll pick up the Dragon afterwards. So one team fight against the flow here for the Brazilians. They'll be the first to 3. And actually a pause coming through.
Yeah. So at this stage, let's just take stock. That was a 1-for-1 trade. Of course, top laner not being there, 4v5 in favor of INTZ. So the Brazilians with an extra man, but Nadius got chunked out, didn't have his summoner spells that time around, so maybe that is going to be an option here for these teams. Make sure that the Jinx unable to really escape, and then it's all on Revolta. He's got to land that ultimate so they can chain up that CC. And they've also got to get Dumbledoge to stop being able to get the perfect shields, because this guy's black shields have been amazing.
Yeah, certainly have, and he's got a Zhonya's Hourglass for himself, which is a very aggressive pickup coming through. He has it even before micaO's, just for some reference there. However, what he's been able to do is stand in front of his AD carry, couple up with Nunu, and all of a sudden you're running through always a guaranteed full channel Soul Shackles, as well as Nunu being able to get a lot of his ultimate across in every team fight so far. So it's very hard to get on top of the Jinx. So even if you land the CC, no one's really there to do damage. Of course, Soul Shackles, one of the few moves in the game that does hit Vlad, and if he pulls, still slows him down, still applies all of the effects, so he isn't able to dive onto your back laner. So I like it as a kind of peel in this situation.
Yeah, exactly.
And the fact that he's got his Zhonya's just means it's going to always go off.
Yeah, it sort of means that Mordekaiser might have been a better pickup here.
No, it does not. And we see the other problem is the fact that they didn't prioritize any armor. As you said, they thought that they had Nadius that far behind that all they had to do was itemize for Thaldron, itemize for Energy, and in the end, they would be able to run away with this game. All of a sudden, after all the MR picks came through, you have a Jinx, who is an absolute beast.
This is a Jinx with more items than the Sivir by 1.5, like you mentioned before. I mean, INTZ, they are about to pick themselves up a Dragon. They will be able to at least tie up that score, create themselves a bit of a lead there, 3-2. But, man, how is this Jinx this far ahead at this stage? It just boggles my mind. And that 2-kill lead that they picked up against the flow down there really turned around. Super Mega Death Rocket is just going to stop micaO from being too happy with himself, but not going to steal the Dragon.
Yeah, so not able to get that one away. So the third Dragon is picked up by the Brazilian lineup. But all of a sudden, Baron is up in about 3 minutes, and you would feel that Beşiktaş in firm control of the area. They've got the vision on the approach. All they have to do is guarantee that that's down. Once again, this team has a fantastic team fight if they are engaged upon. If they do the engaging, I don't know exactly how they're going to win it, but they can deny vision because they have the security of being able to take that objective so extremely quickly. And eventually, INTZ now is going to have to walk out of their base and into them. So they'll continue to scale up. You see Vladimir working towards his Void Staff finally. That is a huge tipping point. Leaving Void Staff to a 6th item.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is a huge strategical error coming through here for Vlad. Definitely think that his build up until this point was fantastic, but I think he needed it definitely 5th at least, if not 4th coming through there. And we'll see exactly how it works out for him because it might hurt not having it in the next team fight in about a minute and a half.
Well, it depends how much money he's got right now, but you're exactly right. Minute and a half, that's when the Baron's going to be available, and he wants it at that stage. As Revolta looking for something, Scrying Orb going to find him.
Side wave control firmly in INTZ's favor. This is something we've complimented them on all tournament long, Atlas.
Yeah,
Bottom
exactly.
lane looks to be on their side of the map. If we go to the top, it's just been shoved firmly out by Beşiktaş, so they're going to easily be able to rebound that one. Dumbledore once again looking for a fight here.
Yeah, they're looking for a bind. The rest of INTZ looking to try and clear
They've
out
got the inside
vision.
track on top lane. They might just be able to push through this turret. They have to go from the side.
Yeah, and they've got Nadius there as well. So much damage available as... Oh, Revolta comes over the edge. There's Yang through with a massive bounce into the back line. He's charging up the Hemo play coming through. There's the ult onto Nadius. He does use the QSS. He's doing a lot of damage, but he falls down. Tockers in the back line now able to offer the consistent damage as Revolta did end up falling down. micaO, he's somewhere in this fight as Energy and Theocles trying to get out of there, and that is what INTZ needed. They needed to kill the Jinx, and they did so, and it netted them a 2 for 2.
Yeah, exactly right. So they come out 2 for 2, but in the end, their carry survived, whereas Nadius, he got deleted off the map. Everyone committed everything to him, and it worked. That's all they have to do every team fight is throw every ability they have at the Jinx and try and erase her out there. You saw that they chased through everything and were able to pick it up. It was an awesome engage coming through from Revolta, who once again didn't use his flash. So there still is a better engage out there somewhere for a Shyvana. But able to pick up a good team fight victory at this stage, relieve a lot of pressure. Now bottom wave has to be dealt with from the Beşiktaş lineup, and they might be able to get control over this Baron area.
Yeah, well, they're at least going to be able to sweep out their own jungle, get control, get the vision down in that place. And 2,000 gold now behind is INTZ, but they've proven to themselves more than anything else that they can win a team fight.
Yeah, they certainly have. See if they can get, once again, the perfect engage through. You feel that was an overcommitment from Beşiktaş coming through there. As Gnar is an absolute monster at this point. Yang extremely tanky, but that is a completed item. Jinx in the late game.
Yep, completed item Vlad, though, in the late game.
Yep, so Vlad, he's also now just picked up the Void Staff, and that is an incredibly powerful pickup coming through there. You would have to think that if he can get a full spell rotation across everyone, it's probably their team fight to lose.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So we'll see whether he manages to get that one down as Dumbledore is building up a Luden's Echo instead of a micaO.
Aether Wisps also build into Twin Shadow.
Yeah, but he's got a needlessly large rod.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, Yang looking for a fight here, but he gets chomped up. Super Mega Death Rocket comes through. Thaldrin teleports into the middle of the fight. The equalizer goes down, but he's going to die as soon as he comes out of it. Yang is able to escape somehow, but Energy picks up the kill on the backside. Theocles, he's going to explode as micaO picks up that kill. Energy comes over the top. Nadius is chasing now, and the Jinx with so much damage. Dumbledore comes down with a massive Zhonya's Hourglass to at least let Nadius get back into the fight, and that's what a win looks like for Beşiktaş.
Yeah, so once again, the face check coming through. They're able to pick it up. They just overextended, and the teleport was actually really strange coming through from Thaldrin. It looked incredibly bad, but the fact that he got his ultimate and Zhonya's off before they were able to blow him up, turned it into a really good teleport.
Yeah, it was fantastic, and he stopped the whole team from being able to do anything. They had to wait until he came out of that stasis.
I have no idea how he got the ultimate in the position he did as well, whilst having to click Zhonya's, because
he's a very good Rumble player.
Yeah, apparently I would have fat-fingered everything there, flashed at the side, probably died.
That's why you're not at IWCI Spawn.
That hurts.
No, it's just it's fact. You know, you told me that to be honest before, remember?
No, I
didn't.
We
were talking about the distance?
I did not at all.
No, we had a look at the horizon.
Yeah, I said, had you not been honest before, I didn't say be honest from now on.
Okay, my bad. I'll continue lying then.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Much easier on the old feelings.
When you're at IWCI, we'll see whether you can do the same thing,
Thank
whether
you.
you've worked on that fat fingering.
The jungle rumble coming through.
Oh, Rumble in the Jungle. That's been done. We got a friend called Papa Smithy who's done that. I believe. It was a long time ago, though. Let's not talk about it. Oh, Jockster was looking for something. Is the dredge line not actually going to find the creep wave? Did have the depth charge available, and of course Dumbledore was there with the black shield, so if he did manage to get on top of Nadia...
So they're trying to bait vision around Dragon. The problem is that isn't the primary objective on the map right now. 5th Dragon for both teams, very far off. So instead, INTZ run towards the Baron pit. That ward, I actually don't know where it is.
I don't know where it is either.
Is it on the... which side of the wall? Okay, so you can assume it's on the nearest side of the wall. And they start it up.
Yeah, they're going to start up the Baron. Oh, micaO almost getting hit by that charm as Beşiktaş actually not opting in for anything here just yet. The Baron down to about half health. Revolta's taken half of his health bar. INTZ are going to have to get out of here. Charm goes wide as there's the ult into the back line, but Dumbledore able to use the shield to...
And look at the creep wave, Atlas. All 3 of them pushing this time in Beşiktaş's favor, and they're going to lose their base for this.
Yeah, the inner turret falls down in the bottom lane. That is a massive creep wave, and the inhibitor turret, sorry, is going to fall, and Beşiktaş just played that whole exchange out so well.
And they use their engage tool. They don't have the Shyvana ult. They don't have the Sivir ultimate coming through. They try and start it up, but they have to go deal with this bottom lane. Yeah, it is huge.
There are so many minions there. It is going to be Yang picking that one up, so they're not going to be able to take double inhibitor turrets, and of course the inhib's still alive here, but Beşiktaş, they are now able to get control over this Baron yet again.
Yeah, they certainly do. So this time it will be INTZ walking into them. Can they get any form of a pick, or do they just start up the Baron? Because top creep wave, once again, incredibly big.
Yeah, Yang has the teleport though, so that is a big deal.
Just start the Baron.
They've got so much Baron damage. Okay, not going to start it. Another ward goes over the top. Bit of footsies to be played by both of these teams. And now the Baron's going down, and it's going down very, very quickly. Immediately the teleport in the back of the pit as Yang finds his way in there.
Yeah, that's all they had to do. Yang now caught out. Creep wave top lane. It's on the turret.
He's got Morgana though. There's the ultimate into the wall. Energy and Theocles getting caught out. Energy's going to die. Immediately Nadius over the wall there. It's a nice equalizer by Thaldrun. Yang's burning down, but there's the wallop as Thaldrun's trying to get that damage through. Jockster on top of Nadius as Tockers is around here as well. Jockster, this is the only time a Nautilus wishes he had more CC as Tockers is able to finally take down Nadius. Dumbledore and Thaldrun taking on the world here. The triple kill for the Vladimir as the transfusion onto Thaldrun. They're the last men standing, but I'd probably give it to Vlad in that 1v1.
Yeah, certainly would. Gentleman's agreement. Thaldrun runs away.
Yeah.
But what a team fight coming through in the end from INTZ. Good ultimate, but Nadius' position over the wall. Free hitting meant that Vladimir had to fly in from the side, commit everything. And in the end, it was like throw everything you have at Nadius, take that man off the map. As soon as they did it, they started winning the fight again.
Yeah, it looked really, really good. And Yang is about to finish off another tank item. And this is going to be 100% tank Gnar. And that's going to still be hard for even a Jinx to get through.
Yeah, it certainly is. He did fall down relatively quickly on the back end of that team fight, however. Item build I want to talk about right now, Morgana. She's gone 2 AP items. Now looking at a death cap. I like the fact that it's gone AP because the game is going this late, but you need a Void Staff in there if you're going to do any meaningful damage. Not going to be able to do anything against the carries right now is Thaldrin. Oh, he needs to be careful, although he does some meaningful damage himself.
Yeah, Tockers able to use that Scuttle Crab in order to heal himself back up. Transfusion
Diva
doing some work.
ultimate.
Yeah, on the hunt going to be used. INTZ just looking to...
This is 4th Dragon coming through here, by the way, by INTZ, so they're able to pick that one up. 53 minutes, the timer, guys, for that 5th Dragon to come through. If the game goes that late, I would be very surprised, but it looks like Baron, once again, the objective for Beşiktaş.
Yeah, the ward's going to finally be cleared. They know that INTZ not quite in position just yet, but there's a massive creep wave in the bottom lane and the top lane now for INTZ as they're looking to put their positions around this Baron and get the advantage as Boomerang comes
Energy's
through.
Caught.
Yeah, maybe caught in transition.
Has to burn the ultimate. That is massive. This turret will go down, maybe even more. If Thaldrin can't clear out the wave, all of a sudden they can start up the Baron. No Ahri ultimate to have to worry about.
They're looking to transition towards the bottom lane. They were moving there. Not actually going to happen. As INTZ may be a bit confused about where to go next. Revolta.
Thaldrin needs to be careful. He's caught.
Yeah, Dredgeline is going to get Jockster in there as the turnaround for Thaldrin. He does silence himself. Black Shield is available now as well as Tockers trying to break that one with the Q. Yang, he's got so much rage, looking to try and get into this fight with the Gnar, but INTZ, they play it safe. They're going to pick up the inner turret, and this game is equalizing itself. And guys, we have got a massive game 2 on our hands now because I personally just don't know which way it's going to go. 4 dragons for INTZ, but the gold leads slightly in favor of Beşiktaş, and they've got the Jinx, but they don't have the engage, and there's a Vladimir. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly right. This game on the knife edge, and it's even more important because right now, if Brazil manages to get the win, you feel like the 2-0 might even break the spirit of Beşiktaş.
Yeah, the match point.
If you win a late game team fight like this and get it to a 3rd game 1-1, momentum will heavily swing towards the Turkish team. The crowd will once again be a huge factor, and I think this game might actually be the series, Atlas. Whoever wins this one, I think, would be very heavily favored to go through and take out the rest of it, because when a game goes towards a 50, 60 minute mark, it becomes so much more important. Fatigue starts to set in.
Yeah.
Shot calling now, so important. You already mentioned Thaldrin. He's having a great game on Rumble now. Able to get in there with a lot of these team fights, and even more pressure on the top laner for Beşiktaş.
Yeah, actually, Thaldrin now ahead in gold, has picked up a few of those kills, as you can see. But look at these gold lines. 3,000 gold still the lead for Nadius. Doesn't matter, though. micaO, he's completely evened it out because they've only got 6 item slots. The Baron now getting taken down to half health, and we've got a pause.
Yeah, have a pause coming through here. Unfortunately, Thaldrin is in the bottom lane. His teleport available, but that's a 3-second channel. He needs to use it now if he's going to get in and affect anything. And this game is on an absolute knife edge. A convincing team fight here, like a 3 or a 4 for nothing, will win a team the game.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on now that we've got a pause, now there's a brief moment to discuss things. Jinx went with the captain boots on the Berserker's Greaves just to make sure that people can get to her in these fights, to get the aids on. You, of course, like the aids, like a shield, like the black shield coming through as well. I mean, I really, really like the pickup.
Yeah, definitely is something to be said there. Will be able to be collapsed on extremely quickly.
I'm just thinking that's only for Dumbledore, though. I mean, if Energy was playing Orianna again, it'd be good to bring
Nunu
through.
can also come towards her. Nunu actually is the one with the micaOs. So don't be surprised.
He picked up a micaO.
Yeah,
okay.
So the support player doesn't have the micaOs. Nunu has the micaOs in this game. So he is actually probably the support that needs to stay with Jinx the most.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Whereas it looks like Dumbledore, he's one of the carries, wants to be the one diving in there. Really do wish he had that Void Staff. It's nearly at the point now where not having the Void Staff in his overall build will continue to hurt his damage output, because this is pretty much a 4-item mid laner. Like, it doesn't seem much, but when you're on top of a 6-item mid laner, a little bit more.
Yeah. That is the thing. And of course, we're talking about 6-item mid laners. Energy's finished up his build as well. He's got the Abyssal Scepters on his Hourglass, Rabadon's Deathcap, Void Staff, Morellonomicon, and the Sorcerer's Shoes with the Home Guards. That is not a lot more inventory left, as he can pick himself up maybe, you know, a few of these potions if he wants to, an elixir or two to come through.
Yeah,
but
I think ideally he gets rid of the Abyssal and picks himself up a Luden's Echo just for some further damage in here. There's already an Abyssal Scepter on the top laner. Rumble does very good with the Abyssal, able to get in a lot of these team fights with the Zhonya's Hourglass, with the shield, stay a little bit more tanky. Right now, Energy's job is just to put a big target on micaO and try and take him out of the fight. Doesn't have the damage to be able to take out Tockers. That really is the rest of the team trying to peel and collapse and allow Nardius to do that. But it really is, if he is able to one-shot the Sivir player and take out the consistent damage on the back, make it all about the Vladimir, because realistically, there's not much damage coming out of the rest of the team, really is going to put them in good steads to be able to win the next fight.
Yeah, we'll see whether he actually can do that, because it's been hard for Energy. It hasn't hit all of the charms this game. Has hit them when they were counting, though, of course. Managed to get some brilliant picks throughout the mid-game, and he's going to need to land them now. Of course, they're halfway through the Baron, and Revolta is hanging around the outside of this pit, and we'll see what is going to happen, because, of course, with a Nunu there, they've got so much Baron secure, and INTZ are really going to have to mess things up for Beşiktaş in order to have a shot at getting in there, because Theocles, he can't be next to the Baron because Consume Smite is just too good.
Yeah, exactly right. So see whether they can get him out of the pit somehow, or whether they can just catch the back line in rotation and kill them. Yeah. Realistically, why would you even go over the wall? Baron means nothing if the rest of the team is dead that can use it. So just collapse on the back line. Nardius is in a good position. He's on the top side of the pit. Unfortunately, both top laners, it looks like Yang is closer, but he's a couple of walls away, and he doesn't have his flash available, meaning he has to run the whole way around. Whereas Tholdren, he has teleport, so we'll be able to get into the fight on one of the wards a little bit quicker. And I think this team fight might be really what decides the game. Everything right now is pretty much equal. When you're up to 80,000 gold, it's luxury items that you're picking up on top of everything. So 3,000, as you said, means absolutely nothing. Everyone is level 18 pretty much, except for the support players coming in there. So once again, scaling and abilities all maxed out pretty much.
Yep.
So it's about who executes better in these team fights. And the target prioritization really is what it does it for me. Can they take micaO out? Because Tockers very tanky, so you're probably not going to be able to one-shot him. You need to get in on Sivir. Or will Nardius be the one collapsed on an Energy? Because realistically, there's two squishy targets with Nardius and Energy. Tholdren also pretty squishy on the lineup.
Yeah.
Versus what is pretty much a one squishy person in Sivir. So Sivir is the only hope for Beşiktaş to quickly blow someone up.
Yeah, well, it's true. And Nardius, he's going to get all of the focus as well, and they might be able to catch micaO while they're all trying to dive onto the Jinx. And, you know, if they lose their Sivir in that time, then that's as much of a carry lost for INTZ as it is for Beşiktaş.
Yeah, exactly right. So we have to see how that one works out here. You see the pause timer up on the screen. The players anxiously waiting to get back into this game.
Yeah, we'll hopefully be back into it very soon, of course. It is an interesting time for a pause right at the beginning of what is possibly going to be one of the biggest team fights of this whole series, let alone this game.
Yeah, exactly right. As I said, I think this is one of those defining moments. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Everything is kind of built up to this. Once again, if INTZ managed to get this game after giving away what was a fantastic early advantage, you got to remember, Nardius, the carry that we're talking about, the 10-3-11 Jinx, was behind 20 CS nearly at like minute 4 in the game.
Exactly.
The entirety of the first creep wave was behind 2 levels, had been pushed out multiple times, but really has just taken every advantage to get back in the lane, even won the 2v2.
Exactly.
They're just such a potent bottom lane coming through here, and they really have a lot of work to get done if they are going to win this game.
Yeah, and of course, mentioning the fact that it's 4 dragons to 2 as well. If this dragon goes in favor of INTZ, they then have the opportunity in 3 minutes go pick up that 5th dragon. Things can go horribly wrong. Whereas on the other side, Beşiktaş, they've got an open inhibitor to be taken in the mid lane, and got a few seconds before this pause resumes. And my goodness, we'll see exactly how this one goes. Of course, do Beşiktaş then just disengage from the Baron because they've seen the fact that they have members heading towards them?
Yeah, potentially. Look, you might want to just disengage and get the heck off Baron, but honestly, I think they have the damage to be able to burst it down, but they're not.
All right. So they are just going to get the heck out of there. And we thought we had the team fight of the day brewing, but not going to happen just yet. It will come soon, though, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you worry. Nardius is going to take down these creeps in the mid lane, and now INTZ, they've got the positional advantage around the dragon.
As soon as they see Nara in the bottom lane, his teleport is it's just come up. I was going to say it's just not available. Would have been maybe a time to press the go button instead. They don't do it. Yang going to be able to clear this one out. Can they get a fight started? Once again, this is the thing that the Beşiktaş lineup struggles to do. They cannot force fights. They have to force people to face check them.
I believe the top wave is actually slowly pushing an advantage for INTZ, though. They're going to be able to wait for that one. Meganar is now being hit by Yang, but he's going to go into exhaustion mode. This could be an opportunity for Beşiktaş. Of course, every time you're fighting against a Gnar or with a Gnar, you have to play around the Mega Gnar form so much.
Yeah, exactly right. You see Yang streaming towards it. INTZ, they're looking for a way in here. They know the Baron hasn't been started up, so it's just in favor. He cuts off the minion wave in the mid lane. That's extremely smart. That was going to push forward, so uses it to grab some wave, but also uses it to cut off the minion wave.
Yeah, he's into yellow rage bar as well as INTZ.
That's enough. He's on the verge of transforming.
That is beautiful. And playing around the Gnar as well is great when he's on your team, but it's so much credit to Beşiktaş to really be looking at that as to whether or not to engage these team fights at the same time.
Yeah, so Beşiktaş don't want to engage. They want to be engaged upon. So regardless of whether the Gnar bar is, they are not pulling the trigger in a move forward fashion. There's just no way that they can do it.
Well, we've seen it hasn't necessarily worked out in the past, but they have managed to win some team fights here with superior, I guess, engagement location. I'm not even entirely sure how.
Well, the thing is that you can't run into them. As long as you are going forward into the Beşiktaş lineup, they have the advantage because you have to run over all of their CC. On the other side of the map, if they ever try and engage on you, it's complete suicide because they don't have the ability to do it. As they start up the Baron in the bottom lane now, it is Thaldrun out of position. Super Mega Death Rocket used. They have to go.
Yeah, that was a scouting tool there by Beşiktaş. There's the ultimate. Theocles actually getting into the pit here. It is going to be Sivir locking down the Baron, but Vlad, he's fallen down. Energy launched into the back of the team as Dumbledore is going to fall down. Theocles very low, but Energy able to dance around this fight. Yang trying to get Nadius out of here, but he gets excited as Jockster falls down. Only 2 members alive on INTZ, and they only lose Dumbledore on the other side of the rift.
And they got the Baron as well. Will the crease be enough to push them away, or will this be the game? It looks like Beşiktaş are going for it.
Yeah, they're going to be able to at least take down an inhibitor here, Spawn, and we'll see whether they keep pushing forward. Nadius has ridiculous damage on this Jinx, as there's the rocket. Not exactly that much damage onto Revolta, who's pretty tanky, but this turret is getting torn to shreds. These Baroned up minions being ignored, but they are at least able to take out the other minions, and that's just one Nexus turret so far. We'll see whether they can actually get it on the next wave.
30 seconds.
I just looked at the death timers. It's ridiculous. There is so much more time for these guys to fight this one out. That wallop was brilliant, though. Energy going down low as Revolta. He can't leave his turret. Yang looking for something, but Nadius just tears him apart. It is going to be Thaldrun picking up the kill. The Nexus is exposed. Revolta's going to die. The ace, the double kill, and the Nexus died. And we've got a 1-1 in our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The momentum now back with the home side, Turkey.
Yeah, you have to think that felt very good coming through for Beşiktaş. The crowd would have gone berserk as you see them celebrating. And wow, what an end game coming through. Nadius with the positioning. Tockers flew at him once again, but they were able to peel, keep the AD carry player safe. And in the end, 11-3-14. After what was a disastrous early game, he was able to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely massive. But you have to hand it to Thaldrun as well. This guy's Rumble play was absolutely stunning this game. Always managing to get the equalizer at the ideal position for that team fight, which is difficult to work out at a moment's notice. And even after that weird teleport, able to get things going in his team's favor.
Yeah, the teleport play was huge, but the last team fight, more importantly, he was the one that took out micaO. A lot of the damage being done on the back end was the Rumble, who got completely ignored. And everyone loves to talk about Rumble's two-item power spike, the double pen. But late game, against no magic resistance on your AD carry apart from a Mercurial Scimitar, he does ridiculous amounts of consistent damage. And I think we have a replay to show this as we pull it up. This is the fight in the jungle where it looked like everything was equal. game on a knife edge, and you just saw exactly how Besiktas' team comp worked. So if we roll this one out, you see they try and go onto Tockers. He has to burn pull relatively early, but they just peel back. And now, in the middle of the jungle, this is exactly where they want to fight. They continue to move it out, catch someone, and all of a sudden, the teleport comes through, and you're fighting a Rumble, a Nunu, and a Morgana in the middle of the jungle. You saw no one could get through any of that AoE CC. You just saw the fact that the Nunu ultimate was used there as a zoning tool. Once again, equalizer there as a zoning tool. That's the 3 carries on that side that cannot get across the equalizer to get anywhere near Nadius. All of a sudden, everyone has no choice but to peel away. So if we continue to roll this one out, you see that equalizer stays there. They can't collapse onto the 2 carries. They take care of the back line, and then the collapse just continues to come through. Nadius always so safe from the entirety of his team. Even though he gets hooked there, still had summoner spells available and is able to turn this firmly into his team's favor.
Yeah, and there's the rocket at the end there. They do manage to disengage, but that was the beginning of the end for INTZ. From that point on, Turkey just looked like they had each team fight going in their favor every single time.
Yeah, they did. And, you know, it's because that INTZ, they lost the control of the map. It wasn't even the gold in the end because everything was equal. They were the ones that always had to force it onto INTZ. Yeah. If they were in a position where they were the ones starting up the Barons, getting everything like that, and they could use their abilities as INTZ were coming in, as Besiktas were coming in, it would be much better. Instead, they were trying to wade through all of the CC, and this is a fantastic example of it. We have the last team fight. When you pull this one up, you see that INTZ, they make a call for some reason to peel off the Baron and start it up. So as we roll this one out, you see that instead of staying on the Baron and just continuing to fight because all the disengages come through, Tockers flies onto the carries and is absolutely destroyed. From there, there's no way they can win the fight. Thaldrin, as I said, the star on the backline, completely soloed out the Sivir, and then Nadius from there was just able to clear out. But it was just a confusing call. I don't understand why they decided to fly in on the backline. They had the Baron secured. They could have just peeled off around the top of the map. Once again, there's no way that Besiktas win a team fight unless they are dove upon, because none of their CC works going forward.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will have a Game 3 to let us know, but it is now one of those situations where it's a best-of-3 scenario. It's all now reset, and Besiktas, they've got the momentum moving through here. INTZ were looking fantastic before, but now we'll see how this one goes, because, of course, Turkey, now that they have momentum, the crowd in that stadium has got to be carrying them through.
Yeah, it certainly would be. They would feel very good. But INTZ, they have to hit the big reset button. They were doing the right things in the early game. They just lost a couple of team fights, but that is nothing that they haven't done before.
That's exactly right. We'll see whether Revolta hops back onto something like the early game Assassins or a Lee Sin or something exciting like that. But we do have Game 3 coming up very soon. There'll be a short break, but we'll be back right after that.
So what Revolta did is, between his auto attacks, because Shyvana has such a low base auto attack speed, he's able to avoid one auto attack every single time he stutter steps back. However, because of how blue buff currently works, in the bottom lane already, Nadius forced out. They went so aggressive at level 2, and Tockers and micaO able to pick up the early victory. He's going to have to go back to base. He did.
He did. He's already walking back up here. May have one more potion, potentially. Yeah, there's a mana pot there, but it's not going to help him out with any sort of aggressive move that micaO is going to make, and they shove out that full wave. 2 CS to 8 now, and Nadius, we mentioned the fact that, you know, this is the star lane.
Not even about the CS. It's about the early levels. All of a sudden, Sivir, in what should be an losing lane, is going to be 2 levels ahead of the Jinx and not going to be able to do anything now is Nadius, as she just repetitively shoves in the lane. You cannot push it back out.
Well, Nadius still level 1, looking for that next level as minions are falling. But when you go back to base that early on, still going to be sticking around on level 1 for quite some time. Hits 2 as the enemy is going to hit level 3. And there's another dredge line to come through from Jockster. Dark Binding doesn't find the mark as Dumbledore is going to shield himself up. Maybe a little bit late there.
So they've able to get the reverse push in here, and they've also sent Nunu down bottom very early as he's done a full clear. Nunu just flies through the jungle. You can see he is full health with his potion still versus Revolta, who hasn't taken his red buff. Nunu is just freakishly good. at jungling, and that's why you normally see him invade, and especially against Revolta.
Yeah, well, I would have thought if there's any time for Theocles to be on the other side of the map, it's now when he's against a Shyvana and he's Nunu.
Yeah, exactly right. So maybe just the early loss coming through from Nadius meant that he had to go down there and at least put some, I guess, presence into Nadius's lane, although he's not playing micaO, who, of course, is the only person that can literally put presence in lane.
Oh, well, theoretically, a Mumu is a present in a lane.
That's a bad Mumu skin, though, so no one uses it.
Oh, that is not true. That is not true. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are on Twitter, use that hashtag IWCI and at SpawnLol and let him know that he's an absolute moron for thinking that, because that skin is adorable. Flat out adorable.
Re-gifted a Mumu.
Re-gifted a Mumu. So good. Anyway, back to the game here. I'm appalled. Boomerang not going to find Nadius or Dumbledoge there as Siva looking to try and get this push back out. They've got a big minion stack as Jockster finds the wall there with the
so
dredge line.
that exactly there is why Jinx actually should win this lane. I was waiting for it to happen. So Siva's auto attack range is that small that when you have to last hit the range CS there, the caster creep, you generally take... Wow.
Whoa, there's the flash dredge line though as the stun comes through as well. Oh, those chompers did not do anything, and micaO picks up first blood. Not going to stop there as the boomerang comes across. We'll have a look at the mid lane as Dumbledoge is going to survive. And there was another gank to come through. Theocles was unable to find Tockers there, and he didn't even blow a summoner.
Yeah, so he just had to pull out, but micaO, he's been able to reverse the minion wave, crush it in there, as now Thaldren in a huge trouble.
Yeah, Revolta looking for the Arctic Assault. Will have to... No! Doesn't have to blow the flashes. He's not in range. Revolta not quite able to get the CC.
Revolta actually saving his summoner spell for a rainy day there. Could have got in there with an Arctic Assault flash combo. Instead decides to not use it and just walks away there to Thaldren.
Yeah, and he was maybe thinking that he'd be able to get the flash by just using the Arctic Assault, but Thaldren, steady hand. Of course, the shot caller and captain of the team, star player here for Beşiktaş, easily just chills out and leaves the lane.
Yeah, so not getting anything across there. Have to see exactly how this bottom lane works out now. 15 CS, it is a BF sword to a pickaxe. micaO once again, this time without a triple kill, has got an absolute mammoth advantage in his lane. And you can see already just walks straight up to the creep and zones Nadius away.
Nice spell shield as well under that zap. Wallop going to find Thaldren here as the creeps do the rest of the work for Yang. Yang is ahead by about 8 CS, but a little bit more attention from Revolta sort of makes that one make sense. And this is always terrifying. When you see it, oh my goodness, Thaldren actually taking a lot of damage, but able to offer it back here as the equalizer comes down. Yang gets out of the Mega Gnar form and doesn't have quite the CC to deal with the Rumble. And I thought that Thaldren might have fallen down there, but massive knowledge of how to really calculate the damage coming through from this Rumble.
Yeah, so able to just return it through there in the back end. And that was a very good exchange coming through from Gnar because he now has teleport up, can just go back as well. Got Ghost, got Flash, so a little bit easier job to get in there. He'll pick up Distortion fairly early in the game if it is anything like the Vladimirs we've seen. Not to mention the fact that there's just a Shyvana and Gnar and Nautilus, so lots of tools to slow the opposition team down. So he doesn't necessarily have to move any faster, can probably just meander his way into the team fight and get some work done.
Let's have more conversations about relative speed. I think that's a really good idea.
I don't think it is. On the other side of the rift, Beşiktaş has gone with the Rumble, has gone with the Nunu. So they have lots of zone control. You are correct. If at any points ints are walking into them, it is going to be a very bad time. However, INTZ don't have to do that.
Yeah, and they're probably not going to as well. And they've got a fair bit of the ability to get out of there as well. I mean, Tockers is going to be relatively safe. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are onto the rift. Beşiktaş taking on INTZ for game number 2. And the Brazilians already up one game with a fantastic first series. And we'll see how this one goes. And you mentioned Spawn. Beşiktaş not with too many engage options. And we saw this work horribly yesterday.
Yeah, it certainly did. So we'll see how it exactly works out here. Looks like we'll have standard lanes. Dumbledoge and Nadius down the bottom. A little bit weaker this time around on Jinx
doing?
Morgana. He's just hanging out in the top lane.
Yep. 30 seconds until minions. Fair enough too. Vladimir just chilling out up there. Gnar is around the area, but he's just looking to get vision down.
So this time round, Theocles should have a much better time taking the jungle aggression to Revolta. Nunu, one of the quickest junglers in the game, as you see him doing a little bit of a boogie.
Oh, he can walk on water. He can moonwalk on water.
Is that a moonwalk?
I don't know. No, it's not. It's most definitely not a moonwalk. He'd have to be going backwards for one. But he's also a Yeti. I just don't know how that translates. Michael Jackson to Yeti.
I'm no help in this conversation. Yeah. Don't look at me.
I was trying to get some sort of opinion from you there, Spawn. Normally that's quite easy.
Yeah. Not about music, it's not.
Well, we are going to have INTZ starting here on this Gromp. Revolta is going to smite it and leave the experience over to INTZ.
So you get the buff, you don't get the level, but of course with the W, Revolta going to be relatively safe jungling anyway. So that's a very nice gesture coming across from the jungler as he pulls it out to max range. There's a danger in doing this.
It does go, but we are into Champion Select, ladies and gentlemen. The picks coming through thick and fast. We'll go through the bands first before we head up to the top of the screen as LeBlanc, Shyvana, and Kalista taken away by Beşiktaş, and Lulu, Hecarim, Janna. So they forego the Morgana ban. And of course, that means Thaldrin going to lock that one away first up.
Yeah, exactly right. That one is locked in. It looks like they're going back to the Sivir. Revolta is hovering Lee Sin. Gragas is available once again. Would not be surprised to see that one picked up for Revolta in the jungle.
And why didn't they pick it for Theocles first up?
I have no idea. I would like to know the same answer. But it is Shyvana as well as Sivir being locked in for the first two picks, so maybe that's why.
Because they knew that Revolta was also going to make the mistake of not picking Gragas?
The mind game.
I'm super confused, Spawn, but you seem to know more than me about this, so
I have no idea.
I'm going to leave it with... No, but you sounded so confident, man. Why did you... You could have just left it and just been, oh, yep,
I'm an honest fool, Atlas. I'm an honest fool.
Well, we have that in common, don't you worry. Mostly the fool part on my side, but at least you're honest. Nailed it. On the other side, though, Energy is going to lock away the Ahri from Tockers. So that is definitely a good pickup here. Doesn't have to go onto the Orianna, but is going to have now
Gragas
that power
has fallen through the champ select completely. Nunu is a pick here for Theocles.
Oh my goodness, Brazil. Please, my favorite champion. And if there's a region that is going to play Mordekaiser, it's Brazil, right?
I guarantee no region will play Mordekaiser.
What? EU played Mordekaiser?
Did they really?
Yeah, Overpower.
Did it win?
No. Wait, yes.
It did?
Yeah, Roccat. It was a long time ago. A long, long time ago, but Roccat played it, and he also built a Gunblade.
Was it after the changes?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. An incredibly long time ago.
That means before the changes.
Ah. Oh, no, it wasn't after the change.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Active listening.
Yeah, I apologize, my friend. Look, he's actually stronger now, though, after the changes. So, look, it's not going to get locked in, though, so we can stop talking about it. Tockers is going to be taking away the Nautilus here for Jockster, and it's going to be Yang on the Gnar in the top lane. So able to, again, be on a champion that's able to be a little bit frustrating on the Rift. Nardius does have the ability to pick up the Lucian if he wants to, and Thaldrin thinking about going for some massive early power. And if they were to go with these two picks, that is so much area zone control if they do manage to do it in a choke, but not a whole lot of tank.
Yeah, and I don't know how they start a fight.
Super Mega Death Rocket.
Without a pick or fantastic denial of vision, if this is the lineup that they go with, there is no way INTZ ever has to fight them. They can just lock in something for their mid laner that supports a fast push composition, and they can just rotate around the map and never actually be hard engaged on until they choose to be the team that starts the fight, because they've got the Shyvana, they've got the Gnar and the Nautilus. There's only soft CC coming through, unless Beşiktaş have the monopoly over vision control and are able to make sure that it's always INTZ walking into them. They never can start a fight on their terms.
Well, Tockers is looking to want to start fights on all sorts of terms as he hovers the Talon there, but not going to be the case, and I doubt Teemo is going to be one either. Here's a serious hover as Mordekaiser comes through. We'll see whether Tockers does go with it, because of course they do have a lot of extra CC, so Mordekaiser does actually work in this comp. I tried to sound serious there. Did it work?
Yep, certainly did. Vladimir would be a better choice if you wanted to have some damage on top of very
little CC.
There's heaps of CC.
No. As far as an individual pick,
Yeah.
he's got the pool.
Well, that's more than Maud has.
Maud's got a speed up now, dude.
That's not CC.
Yeah, but it sort of is. It's an you speeding up is kind of like them slowing down, relatively.
No, it's not at all.
Yes, it is. Of course it is. It's how it works. You are able to catch up to them. If they're slower or you're faster, it's the same thing.
I honestly cannot believe that that's what you think. If they are slower, your whole team can catch up. If you're quicker, you just run to your death.
If you're Mordekaiser, you don't need a team. You're already the best champion. It's fine.
Let's leave this
just
conversation
can't get
right where it is.
you.
Tockers has locked in Vladimir.
Oh, dear. But, of course, it's going to work fantastically in this comp. Vladimir more than able to sit in that lane, just farm it out as quickly as possible. Tides of Blood, a brilliant pushing tool. So he can just push out the wave whenever he needs to. Everyone can rotate around and you can get micaO in that lane. And, of course, Vladimir suffers from the issue of not being able to sort of close in on the opposition. With On the Hunt, it is going to be great. And stop looking at me like that. I want to go back to my Mordekaiser point.
No, so, yeah, I definitely agree with you. He's got the double offensive or defensive summoner spell.